You don't ignore a lawful order. You stay right here. You understand me?
Officer, I am following the law. There's no need for this tone.
Don't tell me how to do my job. You step out of line again, you're coming with me.
Listen to me. I'm a federal judge. Please check my credentials.
I don't care what you say you are.
My ID is in the briefcase and in my jacket. You're welcome to verify it right now.
Comment where you're watching from. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more real-life justice stories. It started like one of those airport mornings that feel a little too busy for comfort. People dragging suitcases, the smell of coffee, the beeping of carts. The overhead speaker kept announcing boarding calls that nobody seemed to hear. But in the middle of all that rush, something tense was about to unfold. Something that would make everyone stop in their tracks, pull out their phones, and start recording. Judge Aaron Miles, a tall black man in his mid-50s, stood near gate C-14 at Atlanta International Airport. He wore a clean gray suit, polished shoes, and carried a slim leather briefcase. His calm, quiet energy made him look like any other professional heading to a conference. No one could have guessed that he was a federal judge, a man who had spent years serving justice in courtrooms. He was on his way to Washington, D.C. to speak at a legal summit. His boarding pass was tucked neatly in his hand, and he was reviewing some notes when a sudden, sharp voice cut through the noise. "Hey, you! Step away from that counter." Heads turned. The voice came from a white police officer, built broad, with a short buzz cut and a tense expression. His name badge read Officer Daniels. Aaron looked up slowly, confused. "Excuse me?" Daniels walked closer, his boots heavy on the polished floor. "Don't move your hands," he barked. "You match a suspect we're looking for, a credit card scammer. Black male, gray suit, briefcase. That's you." People started staring. Phones lifted. The woman behind the desk froze. Aaron frowned, lowering his notes carefully. "Officer, I think you've made a mistake." "Quiet." Daniels snapped. "Show me your ID." Slowly. Aaron's calm face didn't change, but his voice carried weight. "I'll cooperate," he said softly, "but please lower your tone. You're embarrassing yourself." Daniel stepped even closer, one hand hovering near his holster. "You think this is a joke? Show me your ID now before I detain you." And that's when it began. The recording. A young traveler, probably in his 20s, held his phone high and whispered, "Yo, he's harassing that guy for no reason. I'm getting this on video." Passengers nearby started watching, whispering. Aaron, still composed, reached slowly for his wallet. "Officer, my name is Aaron Miles. I'm a federal judge." Daniels laughed, loud and rude. "A judge? Right. And I'm the president. You think I'm stupid?" The gate agent tried to intervene. "Sir, maybe you should check his credentials before." Daniels pointed at her. "Ma'am, please stay out of this." Aaron's expression shifted slightly, not fear, but quiet disappointment. "I've spent my life teaching officers like you about justice," he said softly. "You're making a serious mistake." Daniels reached for Aaron's arm, gripping it roughly. The crowd gasped. Someone shouted, "Yo, let him go." He didn't do anything. Aaron didn't resist. He just said one sentence, calm as stone. "You really should check the ID before you go viral, officer." The officer scoffed and pulled out a pair of cuffs. But just as he did, a second officer ran into view, slightly out of breath. "Daniels, hold up, hold up." "What?" Daniels barked. The second cop looked at Aaron, then froze. His eyes widened. "Wait, Judge Miles." The crowd went silent. Aaron nodded slowly. "Yes, that would be me." Daniels' face drained of color. The bystander's phone zoomed in, catching everything. His trembling hands, the cuffs halfway drawn, the realization spreading across his face. "Sir, I didn't know," Daniel stammered. Aaron took a quiet breath, straightened his sleeve, and said, "That's the problem." The murmurs grew louder. Someone whispered, "He's a judge." Another voice said, "Bro, that cop's done for." Daniel stepped back awkwardly, tried to explain, but the damage was already done. The phone kept recording. Aaron simply looked at him and said, "I'll let the department handle this. You've already said enough." As Aaron picked up his briefcase and walked toward the gate, the video caught one final line from him. Calm, heavy with meaning. "Justice doesn't start in the courtroom. It starts with respect. That clip, just 15 seconds long, would explode across social media before Aaron's plane even left the ground. By the time Judge Aaron Miles' flight reached Washington, D.C., his name was already trending on every major platform in America. Someone had uploaded the video to TikTok with the caption, "Cop Harasses black man for no reason. Didn't know he's a federal judge flush-face airplane. Hashtag instant justice. Hashtag Atlanta airport." In just 6 hours, it hit 8 million views. The clip was short, only 15 seconds, but it said everything. You could see Officer Daniels' aggressive stance, the rough grip on Aaron's arm, and that unforgettable moment when the second officer shouted, "Wait, Judge Miles." People in the comments went wild. He stayed so calm, faced with open mouth. That's real power. That cop just ended his own career live. This is why we record everything. Respect isn't optional. Aaron didn't even know about the video until one of his clerks texted him during a layover. "Sir, you're viral." At first, he sighed. Viral wasn't something he ever wanted to be. He was a quiet man, more comfortable behind a gavel than in the middle of an internet storm. But when he watched the clip himself, sitting in the corner of a quiet D.C. lounge, he felt something shift inside him. It wasn't anger. It was resolve. He had seen cases of racial profiling before. He'd listened to stories from citizens who felt unseen, unheard, dismissed. But now, he had lived it, and America had seen it too. Meanwhile, at the Atlanta Police Department, chaos was breaking loose. The chief, Marcia Gomez, slammed the door to the briefing room and threw the file on the table. "Who's handling PR on this?" she barked. No one spoke. The officers looked uneasy. Daniel sat in the corner, pale and sweating. "Chief, I didn't know." Gomez snapped. "That's not the point. You shouldn't have had to know. That man didn't do anything, and you grabbed him in front of a crowd? Now half the country is calling us racist thugs." She took a deep breath, rubbing her temples. "Effective immediately, you're suspended. Daniels. We'll review the body cam footage, but it doesn't look good." Daniels looked up, desperate. "Can I at least explain myself?" "No," Gomez said coldly. "Save it for internal affairs." Back in D.C., Aaron met with a few old friends at a small cafe near the courthouse. Among them was Monica Tate, a journalist for the Washington Ledger. She leaned across the table, recorder in hand. "Judge Miles, you've been silent since the video went viral. Do you plan to make a statement?" Aaron smiled faintly. "I'm not interested in being a celebrity, Monica, but I do believe this moment can teach something." Monica nodded. "You handled it with grace. People are saying your calmness is what made the clip powerful." He looked out the window. "I wasn't calm because I wasn't angry. I was calm because I've seen where anger leads. Justice isn't about shouting louder. It's about showing the truth." Later that night, as he sat in his hotel room, Aaron scrolled to the endless reactions online. News anchors, influencers, even politicians were discussing it. Some called for reform. Others said it was a learning moment. Then a new clip appeared online, recorded by another passenger from a different angle. It showed more clearly the aggression in Daniel's approach and how Aaron never once raised his voice. That second clip hit 15 million views overnight. People started tagging government pages. How can a man this calm be treated like that? This is a judge. Imagine how they treat regular people. The story became headline news by morning. CNN, ABC, and NBC all ran the footage. Aaron's phone wouldn't stop buzzing, but one message stood out. From Chief Gomez. "Judge Miles, I'd like to apologize personally for what happened at our airport. The officer has been placed on leave. I hope we can meet to discuss corrective action." Aaron read it twice, then typed back just one line. "Let's make this a teachable moment, not a cover-up." The next day, a press conference was scheduled. Reporters filled the room. The crowd buzzed with anticipation. Aaron stepped up to the microphone, dressed in his usual simple suit. Cameras flashed, lights blazed, and for a moment, it felt like the entire nation was holding its breath. "I didn't expect to be here," he began softly, "but perhaps this is exactly where I need to be." He paused, then continued. "What happened to me could have happened to anyone, and it has too many times. It wasn't just about one officer's actions. It's about a culture that lets assumptions replace truth. His voice didn't rise. It didn't need to. The silence in the room was louder than any shout. He ended with a line that would echo across every major network that night. Justice doesn't begin in courtrooms. It begins in the hearts of those who wear the badge. The room erupted in applause. Reporters nodded. Some even wiped away tears. And somewhere in Atlanta, Officer Daniels watched from his couch, realizing just how big his mistake had become. The day after the press conference, the Atlanta Police Department was in full damage control mode. Social media hadn't slowed down. Clips of Aaron Miles' calm composure were circulating alongside headlines like, "Federal Judge Confronts Racist Officer. Airport Incident Goes Viral. Instant Justice as Judge Miles Stands Tall." Inside the department, Officer Daniels sat at his desk, staring at the ceiling. Every time his phone buzzed with another alert or news notification, his stomach sank further. The viral videos had thousands of comments, trending across Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. His colleagues whispered when he walked past. Finally, Daniels was called into Chief Gomez's office. The room was quiet, the sunlight filtering through the blinds. Daniels sat rigidly in the chair across from her, hands clenched. "Daniels," Chief Gomez began, "the way you handled Judge Miles was unacceptable, not just because he's a federal judge, but because it reflected a lack of judgment, training, and respect for any citizen. Effective immediately, you're suspended, and an internal investigation is underway." Daniels swallowed. "Chief, I didn't know he was—" "I don't care," she said firmly. "That's not the point. You need to reflect on your actions." He nodded, his face pale. "Yes, ma'am." Meanwhile, Aaron Miles returned to the courthouse. The video clips had made him a national topic, but he didn't want attention. He wanted change, not fame. As he walked through the halls, colleagues stopped him to congratulate him. Some shook his hand, some hugged him. He smiled politely but said little. Later that afternoon, Aaron received a call from Monica Tate, the journalist who had interviewed him the day before. "Judge Miles," she said excitedly, "the airport incident. It sparked national conversation. People are talking about racial profiling, respect for travelers, and even new policies at airports. How do you feel?" Aaron leaned back in his chair, thoughtful. "I feel like this was a moment for reflection. For everyone. It shouldn't have taken viral videos for the right thing to happen. But now, at least, people are listening." 2 days later, Chief Gomez called Aaron personally. "Judge Miles," she began, "on behalf of the department, I want to apologize. We mishandled the situation. Officer Daniels' actions were not representative of the values we uphold. We will be retraining all personnel on proper identification and respectful interaction. We are committed to ensuring no one else experiences what you did." Aaron nodded. "Thank you, Chief. Apology accepted. But actions speak louder than words. Make sure this leads to real change." That afternoon, Aaron returned to his gate, not as a victim, but as someone who had taken a stand. Passengers recognized him from the viral videos. Some whispered, some smiled, some came up to shake his hand. He remained calm, acknowledging each quietly, understanding the impact of the moment. Back at the airport, Officer Daniels faced the reality of his actions. The training seminars, the internal investigation, the social media backlash. It all served as a reminder that assumptions, aggression, and bias have consequences. Weeks later, Aaron received emails from ordinary citizens thanking him for the courage he showed. One email stood out. "Judge Miles, you taught me that calmness and dignity can force accountability. I hope every officer in this country watches your video." Aaron smiled faintly, replying simply, "Justice begins with respect. Always." The viral videos continued to circulate, but now they carried a different lesson, not one of embarrassment, but one of truth, patience, and dignity. Aaron's actions prove that no matter how high your position, respect and courage could turn even the most tense confrontation into a moment of instant justice. The airport, once just another place of Russian chaos, had become a stage for a lesson the nation wouldn't forget. Calm courage, integrity, and truth always win. If this story inspired you, comment below where you're watching from, like, share, and subscribe for more real-life justice stories.